Woke up in the ocean, water in my lungs. No words can be spoken, but your name on my tongue. Memory is hazy, all to see from my brain. Shrinking down the faucet, all the love that you drain. And I ain't ready to swim to the surface. I can't be happy. I don't deserve happiness. And I ain't ready to swim to the surface. I'm building levees to prepare myself for the flood. I'm building levees, and I ain't ready for the flood, for the flood. My skin is mossy, seashells on my teeth. And I pray to Trident that I wash up on the beach. 3 white cabin cruises, 2 yellow submarines, sending out an armada just to come and rescue me. And I ain't ready to swim to the surface. I can't be happy. I don't deserve happiness. And I ain't ready to swim to the surface. I'm building levees to prepare myself for the flood.
Hey everybody, before we get started, this is Dillon from the future. I'm editing currently the first episode of our podcast, so I wanted to touch down on a few things before we actually get started. One, I know some of the audio issues as I'm listening, like me only coming through on the left channel, so you only hear me in your left headset, and it sounds clear, but it's only on like the left earphone. That was an issue with my microphone I use for my music. I've never used it on my gaming computer before, so I fixed it now. Obviously, you can hear me through both ears. This will be fixed on the next episode. I really apologize. But yeah, I didn't know until after we had already recorded for an hour. We did a couple of test streams and it was fine, or test recordings, so I'm not really sure what happened, but we're good now. I switched it over on OBS to mono, so everything's fine. As far as Jalen's mic, he was a little bit loud with the breathing. He couldn't help it. He didn't know where to put his mic. He was using his PlayStation mic. So I did my best to kind of turn some of that down, and I also told him throughout, like, at one point in the episode to move his mic, and he did. That was fixed. And anytime you hear this noise, that means that there was a blooper or we basically had to have some kind of technical fix. It's kind of to trim down on some of the excess things that were said that didn't need to be in this episode. Just wanted to give you a quick update. As we go forward, these things will get easier. This is our first ever episode. I really appreciate anybody taking their time to listen to this. Thank you so much. Go ahead and leave your feedback in the comments below. That would be very appreciated. Hope you guys stick around for, some episodes. We got some cool things planned. We're going to start streaming, like little co-ops and stuff that we do. We're going to have a lot of fun on this channel. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Sorry for some of the technical errors. This is the first ever episode. They will be ironed out in the future. Please enjoy the first ever episode of the Never Ending Backlogs podcast. Thank you. Welcome to the first episode of the Never Ending Backlogs podcast, the show where a bunch of nerds get all anime girl blushy over video games. By the way, did you like the song you heard before we came on air? That was Maelstrom, the most recent release by my good friend, the talented Cairo Croon. As with any of our musical guests, you can find a link to their social media and music in the description. Do you guys want your music featured on an episode? Follow the link to my Fiverr in the description below, and for just $5, your track will be featured on an episode. I'm your host, Dillon, and today I'm joined by my two friends, Steven and Jalen.
What's up?
What's up?
All right, guys, before we get started, I do want to do a weekly Wrangling, which is going to be a segment we do every show, where we just go over what we've been doing. It doesn't have to be in the last week. I mean, I guess as we go, it will be a little more what we've been doing in the last week. But this time, just what have you been playing? What have you beat recently? What music have you listened to? What movies and TV shows have you watched? That kind of stuff. Steven, you can go and start.
Okay. Really, as of late, I've been playing Farming Sim. Honestly, it was a cheap game. I picked it up for like $10, and I've just fallen in love with this game. And I don't know what it is about it because it's boring and tedious, and I love it. I really don't know what's up with it. But
I
yeah.
wanted to get into that game so many times, but it's just like every time
get,
I get
get
it,
17. Get 17. Even if you get it on like console, there's mods.
Oh, okay.
So you
Don't
can
they
mod
drop
the
it
hell
on
out of
like
it.
they drop it like sports games like every year?
Yeah, no. They drop it every other year. So they've got 17. Okay. There's no 18, but then they've got 19. So the next one will be 21.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I suggest getting 17. Most people will tell you 17 is the better one, anyways. So, yeah, it's also got a lot more mods out for it. 19 is still pretty new, is like only a few months old.
Everybody's gonna hear a lot of clicking right now because I'm closing Football Manager because I forgot to close it before we started.
That's okay. Both you and I have mechanical keyboards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we ever type anything out, they're gonna hear.
Yeah, it's gonna be a storm. What about you, Jalen? What have you been playing or watching or listening to in the last week?
Just recently beat Kingdom Hearts 3. That was an amazing game. I've always loved the Kingdom Hearts series. That one wrapped up the story really well.
And spoilers, everyone dies at the end. So just in case you guys were wondering whether or not everyone's gonna die, they're gonna die.
I don't get it. I just don't get that game. And I know I've said this before to you guys, but I just cannot get into it.
I think
it just doesn't work for me.
Too. Like when you see Mickey Mouse running around with
a fucking keyblade, or
with a bunch of emo kids that you would see in like a Final Fantasy game. I think it probably turned a lot of people off originally.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it just feels like it's Disney just saying, "Hey, look how awesome and great we are. We own everything." Because in the next one they're gonna have Star Wars.
That'd be so awesome. I just thought about a Kylo Ren Keyblade. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, It would be disgusting. And they're about to acquire 20th Century Fox too, so you're gonna get maybe the X-Men. Who knows?
X-Men Keyblades.
Yeah, you get the Wolverine one.
The edgy possibilities are endless.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. And
could be a possibility with the new Keyblade transformations, like the little claws.
Yeah, that's true. Because they have like transformable Keyblades now. Like while you're fighting, you get like alts kind of.
So explain it to me. Why do you guys love these games so much?
Jalen, you can go first because you have. You have a lot more to say. I'm sure he knows like everything about it. I know like.
I don't want to pull a plot synopsis. I just want to know why you guys play this game.
It's just like edgy
Oh.
emo kind of like I love Final Fantasy because Final Fantasy is so stuck up its own ass. It's just like every Final Fantasy game is so over the top sad. I mean, like they try really hard to put together these really beautiful stories, and I feel like as a kid it was really cool to because I think on paper anybody will tell you that sounded really dumb. Anybody on paper would have been like Cloud fighting. Not that this ever happened, but like Cloud fighting Mickey Mouse sounded stupid. Anybody would have said that sounded dumb. It's just something about the way like it just works. And yeah, Kingdom Hearts suffers from the Final Fantasy thing where it's like stuck up its own ass and it's like the story's super convoluted and stuff, and if you don't play or you don't know about every single game, it can throw some really weird curveballs. But I think it's almost like because we've waited so long for 3, everybody that played 1 and 2 has grown up with the series. And so it was like really cool to see all of like as you're playing these games, you're like, I just can't wait till the end of the saga. I just can't wait till the end of the saga. And then coming to the end of it, it's almost like an emotional kind of thing. It's like, damn, like yeah, this game's rated E10 plus, but I've been playing these since I was like 8, and so to see it all kind of come together as the series kind of grew with me, which is kind of the opposite effect that Pokemon's had on me. As Pokemon's getting older, I feel like it's getting easier and easier and easier, and I'm starting to not like it as much.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely Pokemon's definitely getting easier, but then again, so are a lot of games, and
Kingdom Hearts 3 was definitely easier than the other ones, I think.
yeah, I mean it's because these companies are trying to cater to a larger crowd, which isn't a bad thing. It's a great thing, but I think the mistake that's often made is they take away difficulty that a lot of people loved without the option to get that old that old challenge back. So like look at Dark Souls 3 for example. I played 1, 2, and 3, and even Demon Souls, and they all kicked my ass except for 3. And maybe that's just because I played all three of those previous games, and I guess just knew it a little bit better at that point.
Jalen, take your mic a little bit away.
Yeah, I'll say that too. Because after like playing Bloodborne and beating that, I went back and played Dark Souls 1, and it seemed like a lot easier.
Yeah, so maybe it's just growing up and getting better at games. Although I will say, as I get older, I feel like I just get worse.
I feel like they are like I definitely think like with Pokemon, I think it's like two different sides. I think like the one side is the developer, and they have to constantly think we have to keep they're like the idea is that everybody it's like the generation of 10-year-olds, and so it's like I don't think they realize that us being one of the like the third generation of 10-year-olds is still playing these games. So they keep making it, well, maybe we should explain this, maybe we should explain this, maybe we should make it easier that way kids. But it's definitely a common trend is like games seem to hold your hand so much to the point where like a lot of them aren't even that fun anymore.
Yeah, it's a big issue. And I just want that challenge back in the games, because I remember being a kid and beating a game in like a day or two was a fucking accomplishment,
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I am so good at this. I beat it in a day or two. Now, I'm trying to think of the most recent one that I picked up and beat really quickly. Oh, man. Spider-Man PS4, I beat in like 2 days. And a lot of people are going to tell you that it's a bit of a longer game depending on how you play it, but I mean 2 days and I was done with it, and I had already at least beaten the main story, and I know there's side missions and such, and of course I did do those as I went, but I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit there and obsess over getting every single side mission done. Oh yeah, I mean Spider-Man was easy, but then again I don't think that game should have been hard. I don't think that game was meant to be hard at all. It was definitely you're supposed to be a superhero, It's supposed to be fun, and you're supposed to kick some ass, and that game kicks a lot of ass.
Yeah, I would say like basically that would be my response about Kingdom Hearts. Is just that I feel like we've grown up with it, and it's like 3 has been such a is it ever going to come out kind of thing, kind of like Final Fantasy 15, where it's like people had waited and waited and waited, and I don't, like the opinions on Kingdom Hearts 3 for the most part seem super positive. I don't think anyone, like no game is going to live up to that kind of hype. Like Final Fantasy 15 definitely didn't live up to the hype that was surrounding it, because there's no way it could have. I don't think it's as bad as people make it seem. Just like with Kingdom Hearts, there
Oh
are some
no.
people that are tanking it, saying like the combat's too easy, which is a valid criticism. The combat is very easy. A lot of it's revolved around getting your Keyblade transformed and then just obliterating anything in front of you. But
Hmm.
it's also, in a way, it's like I feel like it makes sense and it doesn't. As he's getting older, as Sora's getting older and going through getting all this training and stuff, you would think that he was getting stronger, so things should become easier. That being said, at the beginning of 3, they kind of explained that in the game before 3, he lost like most of his powers. And so I could see why some people would think, if he's supposed to have lost his powers, this should, if anything, be way harder than any of the other ones. But I could also see that just because he lost some of his abilities doesn't mean that he lost the knowledge of how to use a Keyblade better. And I feel like some of it is, if he's grown, you would expect it to become a little bit easier because he starts off as like this punk ass little kid that's never held a weapon before, and now he's somebody
Right.
He
that's
walked around with a stick sword.
like fighting
Well,
all
and
these enemies and enemies and enemies, and now it's like muscle memory. So you feel like he would get
yeah,
better at it.
and absolutely, I completely agree with you on that.
But I do think it's a valid criticism. I think it is a lot. It's a little too easy for me, especially on proud mode. Like you would think that there would be some kind of challenge, and I really didn't struggle until the final boss, and even then, I only died like 5 times, and
Oh,
so
man, high difficulties is another issue I have. It feels like the normal difficulties can be way too easy,
right.
and then you bump it up a level or two, and then it just all of a sudden is like, boom, this game's hardcore. It's gonna kick your fucking ass constantly. Fuck you, die.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
was
there's
Wolfenstein.
no in between mode.
Like I beat the first 2 Wolfenstein games on the hardest difficulty, which was insanely hard, and then I beat the newest one, the new Colossus or whatever. I beat that one on the hardest, or no, I beat it on the second hardest because it was actually like it felt impossible on the hardest. It was so hard.
Yeah,
So I feel like there's either games like Dark Souls that don't have a difficulty setting. They're just supposed to be difficult. But if you learn Dark Souls, what is bringing you back if you've already beaten it? Like
oh man,
there's no difficulty setting, so you know how to kick everything's ass. You go in there and
Well,
it feels like easy.
New Game Plus is supposed to be a pseudo difficulty setting in a way. As you progress, through your New Game Plus, you're supposed to see new enemies, new enemy placements, new items, and things like that. However, Dark Souls 3 said, "Fuck all of that," and yeah.
Anything else anybody's been doing recently?
Uh,
Ooh, the new Apex Legends made by Respawn is real good.
I wish I was the person
That's
to
all
play
I've
it.
been playing recently.
dude, you really need to, like, once we're done here, we need to get on and play it a little bit. You,
Yeah.
Jalen, and I.
I'm just
You have it. You already have it downloaded, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'll
You
download
might
it tonight and then we can play
start it
tomorrow.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I know
now,
it's a battle royale.
Yeah.
It really doesn't play like one. It really it feels like something completely different, honestly, and that's more than I could ask for.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm not against battle royales. I just don't like all of I think the only one I honestly like right now is Blackout. And Blackout is just because it feels fair. The TTK feels fair.
This is Blackout, but better.
Yeah, because
honestly,
it's
Yeah.
like Titanfall's movement and stuff.
not
I
completely.
read the respawns too.
Yeah, the respawns are actually really cool.
It's like I don't think Fortnite's a bad game. It's just not for me. I've tried it and it's just not for me.
Like, you can't say Fortnite's a bad game because it's made how much and it's got how many
I
concurrent
think we can all
players.
agree that Fortnite is a good game. It's just not for me. And I didn't
It's not
really
for
like
everybody,
PUBG
yeah.
either. I wasn't a big fan of PUBG.
I enjoyed PUBG, but I think what I enjoyed about PUBG was the realism of it. It was not realism per se, but you get to use real weapons. Things like that. I don't like using fake things. I think it's cool to actually see real in world, something that actually exists that you could find out in the real world and be able to like simulate that. I say that with air quotes, simulate that.
Yeah.
I love Squad. Squad is so much fun because it's the tactical shit. You get to be the tactical and talk like a military person and shit. And it does get weird and all role playing and kind of stuff. But honestly, that's part of the fun.
So yeah, some of the best fun I've ever had in like those kind of games. I played
Black Wake.
Yes, that was good. And then there's another one that's like a Napoleonic War game, but I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah. Shit.
I have it in my Steam.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, let me look real quick. I know I have it, but anyway, we were I was playing it, like, I've only played it a couple times, but I think I played it one time with a group of people, and I just remember it was like the first time I ever played a game where people like really role played super heavy in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like I didn't have my mic in, but we like come up over this hill on the map that we were on, and everybody lines up like real soldiers, because the way the developers made the game is like the only way you can kill people is to line up like that, because they're useless on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made it where like the little drummer boys and stuff give you like buffs in combat. And I just remember like looking out over this huge ass battle that's like taking place, and the guy that was on, like that was like the leader of our team, had a lisp and was just yelling for the queen and save the queen over and over again as we were like charging at each other. And I was like, this is intense.
Sea of Thieves is another good one for that. You get to do a bit of that pirate role play. And,
Yeah, I see that starting like gain steam again.
Oh, dude, Sea of Thieves. I've always been a big supporter of it. Just ask Dillon. I've been trying to get him to play it for fucking since it came out.
Yeah, he actually just messaged me this morning at like 9 a.m. and asked me. It's like free for people that like the friends of people that have it. So he was saying,
yeah,
like, invite me to come play it. We can stream it if you want.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Because first of all, the game looks so good. I mean, it really looks good. It controls well. The sailing is dope. The being a pirate is dope. The fighting the kraken and the shark and the shit and the fucking stuff is dope. I mean, it's like you think Black Wake, right?
Uh-huh.
But there's more to do. It's deeper than Black Wake,
Hold fast. That's what it's called. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But there's so much depth into this game, and you can go around and you can not PvP. You can PvP if you want. You can just hunt skeleton ships, or just hunt skeletons if you fucking want. I mean, there's not. I will say, when it came out, there wasn't a lot to do. Mm-hmm. You sailed around, you found some treasure chests, you did some events and such. Now though, this is what they should have launched.
Mm.
And I will say that. But I love the game. I absolutely love the game, and I have loved it for a long time. Since it came out, because I pre-ordered it like the day before it came out, because Dillon was sitting over here. Oh, dude, I'm so hyped to see it. Yeah. Comes out. I'm gonna play it. I can't wait to play this with all you guys. We're gonna have like a whole team. I was like, cool, dude. I got it downloading right now. And he's like, oh yeah. And then the game comes out, and I'm like, hey, dude, you want to get on Sea of Thieves? I know you're really hyped for it. Oh, I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah,
and then the reviews come out, and it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, that's kind of, dude. That was like, I panic bought an Xbox like 2 years ago, or like a year and a half ago, because I was like, it was like before I had all this debt from my like fucking school and my PC and shit, and I was like, I went into GameStop.
Remember, kids, don't go into debt for a PC.
Go into debt for a PC. It's worth it. No, don't.
It's I don't know. I don't think it's, if you're big into gaming, I don't think it's actually a terrible investment.
No, I say debt, but it wasn't that bad to pay off. Like, it's just school. But anyway, like I had just gotten paid, had a money like burning hole in my pocket and shit, and so I went to GameStop. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead and get an Xbox. I've never had an Xbox. I hear all this shit about Halo and Gears of War looks super good, and then I asked the guy. That was like the first red flag, but I ignored it. I was like, oh, cool, what games could I get on Xbox? He was like, oh, Forza, Halo, and Gears of War, and everybody has already heard of those. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, what else? And he was like, oh, that's kind of it. So I was like, damn, I don't know if it's worth it, but I ended up buying it anyway. I looked up games that were coming out. Sea of Thieves, super interested in me. Like I was like, oh man, it looks insane. I really, really, really want to like play this pirate open world game. And then State of Decay 2, because I had played the first one on the Xbox.
Is that not out yet?
It is. It is. And then
Oh.
Crackdown 3, which is not out yet.
Yeah, Crackdown still looks like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. And like State of Decay 1 was good, but I think like the whole main thing was people kept asking for multiplayer and they didn't have it. So then that's what State of Decay 2 was supposed to be, was like a zombie survival game, and it was,
But it was
so
a
cool.
really bad horde mode.
Yeah, like State of Decay 1 was so good, I thought. Like it was like you have like this little settlement of people. If like you go out and everybody has randomly rolled like attributes and stuff that's wrong with them. So like you might have like a girl that used to run track and her stamina is super high and her speed is super fast. Then you might have an old guy that's got arthritis and so he like limps everywhere. And like if the person, you can't use the same person like all the time, they'll get tired. And I remember I had a track runner and she died and I had to play as this old lady that like had all this shit wrong with her. She moved super slow. It was really cool because if you died, you just started playing as somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really liked State of Decay 1. I have not played 2. I have not heard. It's like mixed, I've heard. Have not played 2. I sold the Xbox because the only game I liked on Xbox was Gears of War. Not a shot at any Xbox people. You guys just don't have shit to play that we don't have to play. So
Yeah, and if you've got a PC, then you can play most Xbox games except Halo.
yeah, still don't understand that.
Well, they're coming out with Halo Infinite, and I'm hype as fuck for that because I don't know if you guys know this. I love Halo. I grew up playing Halo. I mean, that's the game that I grew up playing was Halo.
Reach is my favorite one.
My dad would play it, and I'd get on there. We'd do 4-player split screen, and it would be a blast. And that was our family time, was playing Halo together. And I played 1 all the way up through to 4, and I didn't have an Xbox to play 5. And I really want to play 5. I've heard it's shit, but I still want to play it just because I love Halo. I love the world.
Wanted me to play, what was the one you wanted me to play?
We played 5.
No, not 5. You wanted me to play a certain one.
Reach.
Yeah, Reach.
That was my favorite one.
Here's the crazy part. I had Reach and I had Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2 because they're all on backwards compatibility, which is one thing that Xbox completely murders PlayStation in.
Well, apparently the PlayStation 5 is going to be backwards compatible in PlayStation 4, 3, 2, and 1 games.
That would be
awesome. That's gonna be dope.
But yeah, so they you know that was like a spiteful move. Like they were like, all these people keep bitching about it every generation. They're like, fuck it, now we're gonna do all of them. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
all of them are you can play any fucking thing on this.
I mean, I think it's good.
Yeah, that's fun for me. I mean, because for any game collector, that's gonna suck because it's gonna make the value of the games probably go down a little bit because maybe not though, because demand would go up and they're not printing new copies. So if anything, they'd probably get more expensive. So maybe they're like happy about it.
Right.
But yeah, I remember I had Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2. I think me and Jalen played like 30 seconds of Left 4 Dead and then we like never played it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we always played the Gears though. That one was fun.
We played Gears every day. I fucking love Gears of War 4. That's the first Gears of War I've ever played, the only one I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking love that game. That game is so good. But I remember we were gonna play Reach, and he kept asking me like every day, but I think I was just busy, and so we never ended up playing. I ended up sending it back in the wrapping. I never took it out.
Mm-hmm. Sad times.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite Halo.
Anything else you've been doing recently you want to talk about? I guess I haven't gone yet, but I mean, I'm fine. You guys have been killing this. It's already 20 minutes in.
What are we shooting for?
Shit, I don't care, dude. I mean, I'm sure it'll be less than an hour, but if it's over, it's over.
Yeah. I think an hour is decent, honestly.
Yeah. That way, you sweet 2 people that are going to hear this first episode can fall asleep to it.
Oh yeah, I know I'll fall asleep to
it. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I'm going to go through mine like really quick. So if you guys want to,
no, go ahead, do your thing.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, if you got something else, Dylan, go ahead.
I'm super excited for the new expansion for Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk
the Shadowbringers.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
Are you guys going back into the grind?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no. Well, I will. Let me know when, just that way I can prepare to not see you guys for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Shit.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead, then, Dillon.
Okay. So as for like movies and TV and stuff, Me and my girlfriend started Adventure Time over, and within like a week, watched like 4 seasons because the episodes are like 12 minutes, and so we've been getting super into Adventure Time. She wanted to watch Inuyasha. We started it, but we haven't been watching. We've been watching like a lot of movies lately, and then I wanted to start Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because I watched the original Full Metal Alchemist, but never Brotherhood, and I know Brotherhood fixes a lot of like the stupid shit that was in the plot. So we just started those. I think we're like 2 episodes in or something like that. So we kind of put those off. And then movies, we've been watching a lot of like scary stuff. We both like scary movies. We watched 13 Cameras recently, which was, it's like a horror movie about a guy that owns a lot of property, and he's like a creep. He has like cameras set up so he can watch people have sex and stuff and in the shower. That was a really creepy movie, but I wasn't like the biggest fan. She liked the first one. Then there's 14 Cameras, which is the sequel. We both hated it. It was stupid. It like took it up to like a level that it didn't need to go. We watched Hush, which is a movie about a deaf lady who a serial killer is trying to kill her in her house, and she's deaf. That was pretty neat. And then Train to Busan.
I've seen that one. That was a good movie.
Hush was really good. I thought that was good. I just like just putting yourself in her shoes is really creepy. Like you can't hear the dude. Train to Busan is amazing. If anybody hasn't seen Train to Busan on Netflix, it's a Korean zombie movie. It is amazing. Go watch that movie. Games, I beat God of War recently. I know I'm late. I waited to get it till Christmas, and I really enjoyed it.
Such a good game.
We played a lot of Smite. We go through cycles with Smite. Me and all my friends. It's like we won't play for like 3 months, and then we play for like 6 months straight, and then we won't play for like 2 months. We're in a Smite cycle right now. Football Manager each and every day, of course. The GOAT. Play that every single day. Kingdom Hearts 3 just beat. And I've been playing Final Fantasy 6 on my Vita. And then as for music, I mean,
we have so many hours on Smite.
Yes, we do. I'm
about to have like 600. I think I'm over 600 hours at this point.
I've eclipsed my Smite hours with Football Manager hours. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I play a lot of Football Manager.
That's tough.
Music, my girlfriend actually put me back into rock music a little bit with Pierce the Veil, which I really, really enjoy. Their newest album, that Misadventures album, is super good. Beartooth, there's a couple songs I like by them. I don't like them as much as Pierce the Veil, but I'm starting to get back into rock, and I realize it's not as shitty as I thought it was. And then other than that, a lot of XXXTentacion, favorite rapper, always will be, and Ski Mask Slump God, Juice WRLD, all that shit. That's pretty much all that's been going on with me.
Nice.
So is that everybody's good? We're all caught up, weekly wrangled. We've all been wrangled and smooched on. Without further ado, I would really like to get into today's topic. Games we love, more specifically the top 5 games or series of all time in our opinion. We will start with Steven and end with me. Everyone will go one at a time, starting at the lowest, which is number 5. So we'll go Steven, number 5, and why, Jalen, number 5, and why, and then me. And then you do not. Then
is number 5 low or is number 5 high?
Number 5 is low, and number 1 is 1, like the best. So we're gonna start low and go high. So you do number 5, and then you say why it's your number 5. Then Jalen will do his number 5. Then I'll do my number 5, and we'll go from there. Like we'll do one place every, and then we'll cycle through everybody. That's how we'll do it.
Okay.
So Steven, number 5, best video game or video game series of all time, and why?
Red Dead 2. Because I spent 80 hours in that game for the first week that it came out. Put 80 hours into that fucking game, and it made me cry over a cowboy, dude.
Jeez, no spoilers. I know what happens, but I mean for our sweet viewers.
I mean, I can just leave it at that. Shit. I mean, it made me cry over a cowboy. I'm not going to tell you what cowboy, but it made me cry over a fucking cowboy. That's a pretty good game.
Yeah. Whatever you did with your mic, by the way, you sound 80 times better. Like, you didn't sound bad, but now you sound really crispy and HD, and it's making me love you a lot more.
Because I brought my mic up to my face, and I'm actually speaking into it.
Yeah, you sound really nice now. I enjoy it. It's actually, like, I feel like I'm watching HD porn.
Good. I hope you hear that.
Anything else you want to talk about your Cowboys?
The game does control like a archaic piece of shit sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of sad. because I wish they would just, update the whole tap X to fucking run.
Yeah, that.
It's been how many games that they've been doing that?
I just remember in Grand Theft Auto 4, I hated that. It just felt like
I hated it in 4, 5, Red Dead 2.
It feels like you're just
San
killing
Andreas.
your X button. Like you feel like your X button is slowly dying as you're doing it.
Yeah, I bought a brand new controller when Red Dead came out. I bought the blue and berry purple one. And it's a beautiful controller, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I seen the one I want that one.
I felt the difference in my X button after I was done with that game. I was like, oh man, what have I done?
Yeah, I can't. The whole time I played Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5, I was like, geez, my fucking X button, dude. I'm going to have to get a new controller. It's going to start sticking.
Yeah.
I felt that way when I played it. It was a little bit. It was like a little bit. Oh, and by the way, I probably didn't say this, but you guys can feel free to talk about any of our like we're doing right now. It's totally fine. Like we can get into conversations on each person's if you want. It's totally fine. I felt the same way when I played Red Dead, the newest one, the Red Dead Redemption 2. Haven't beaten it. Put 20 hours into the game. Not even 3% done because I just went around wrangling people and drowning them. I like that it's a game that you can just fucking waste your time in. I'm not all into the cowboy setting, but I think they did well with what they like. It's not something I necessarily enjoy, but I respect it for what it is. I think it's cool that you can steal a train, like that you can just get on the train at any point and take it.
Yeah, too bad you really can't do anything with the train.
Yeah,
that was
just
a
run
sad
until you're
moment.
like, okay, it's time to die, and then you jump off and get killed.
Yeah. Then that does kind of suck.
Yeah, but I haven't even played the online, but I did like what I played of it. I want to go back in eventually and beat it. I just other stuff, and it's not really my on the scale of like things that I enjoy. Cowboys is probably like right above like Scrabble.
What?
I just don't enjoy Cowboys very much.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
If Scrabble's number 100, Cowboys is like 95.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
The online is very fun. I play it with AJ.
That's right. I gotta disagree with you on that. If it just felt empty. I mean, like it. You take the full game. All they needed to do was take the exact game that you were playing already and add multiplayer. Just add more people to it. That's all they had to do. But they somehow managed to fuck it up, not only with the gold microtransactions, which, whatever, fine. But, I mean, the missions just didn't feel impactful. You didn't make enough money. They made the economy ridiculous in the amount that it costs to buy a single fucking gun.
Not really, because when I was playing, the missions me and AJ were doing, we were getting a lot of money. We were able to buy like almost all the guns.
I do think they had to re-level it, but I know like my uncle is really into Red Dead, and he was saying like he was getting irritated because he would watch all these videos on how to make like quick cash, and it was like all fishing videos. So he would go out there and fish for like days. Like he would spend like every day that he had off time, he would just like fish. And he was making a lot of money, and then they like patched it, so like it's not, you don't get as much money from fishing because it was like one of the most lucrative things you could do in the game. So he said he was kind of irritated by that, but he still likes it. Like he still plays it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So Red Dead Redemption 2, Steven's number 5. All right, Jalen, number 5, best game or series of all time for Sweet Baby Jabus.
I'm gonna have to go with Spider-Man.
Like the new Spider-Man?
Yeah, the new one.
You sure it's not Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 1 where you couldn't touch the ground?
Heck, I actually like Spider-Man 3.
I actually like Spider-Man 1 because I was a little kid and I didn't know that it was bad that you couldn't touch the ground.
I know, I hated that game. Even as a little kid.
I was like a little kid and I was like, ooh, Spidey.
Because I played the first one right after playing the second one, and why you could like go anywhere in the second one. And then I was like, why can't I go on the ground?
So this one must have been like a return to form for you then from 2.
Yeah. And plus Spider-Man is like my favorite of all time, basically.
Your favorite superhero? You cut out a little bit.
Yeah, he's my favorite superhero.
Oh, okay.
And then I like how they mixed in the Batman combat, and then I'm going to use IGN right. Makes you feel like Spider-Man.
How much did you feel like Spider-Man? Because I felt like there was a lot more man than Spider, so I had to give it a 4.
Yeah, it was a very fun game. That's why it's at my top 5.
Yeah, I actually like Spider-Man a lot, and the crazy part is I don't remember where this hatred of Spider-Man in me came from, but I think I've always said it was between me and one of my friends, Ricardo. We were like childhood friends, and I used to always talk about Batman and like how Batman will always be my favorite superhero. And I used to talk about him, and then he'd be like, Batman's a bitch, and then he'd be like, Spider-Man's awesome, and I was like, Spider-Man's a bitch, and we would just argue. And so I think like from there, as an adult, I was just like, fuck Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's a bitch. And then I watched like the Marvel movies, the newer ones, and I was like, okay, maybe I might like Spider-Man, but he's still a bitch. And then played the game, and I was like, all right, I like Spider-Man. He's not my favorite Marvel hero, though. I think my favorite Marvel hero is probably Thor.
Thor?
Yeah.
What?
I like hammers.
Disgusting.
I enjoy Thor.
Well, I wouldn't say disgusting, but like early Thor in the early comics, pretty trash.
He seemed kind of. I used to think he was so lame because, like on the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, he was like
you just cut out really bad.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
That's okay.
What is the problem? Okay, we should be good.
Yeah.
In the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, I always thought he was like a doofus. Because he just seemed like this clunky dude with a helmet on. But I think the movies have made me enjoy him a lot more.
Oh yeah, Chris Hemsworth makes his character even better.
Yeah, it makes him like a bearable character now. Like I enjoy him in the movies. Okay, so I guess it's my number. Unless you had anything else to say about Spider-Man?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start just by saying I had one honorable mention that almost made it up here, but it didn't make it in. So like if we did a 6, my number 6 would have been Kingdom Hearts as a series, because I said like I felt like with the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, and I already beat it because I no-lifed it, but I have to put the entire series on here because I felt, like I said earlier, we grew up with it, and so to see it all kind of come together was really cool. And I feel like it's like it started back in 2002 with 1, and any people that hadn't even played, like people that didn't play it were like, that's dumb. And somehow Square pulled it off, and Square and Disney just work. I don't know how it works. I've never thought Mickey Mouse could ever kill with a blade. But it just works for me, and I really, really enjoyed 3. I'd say my favorite one is probably still 2, but I don't know, because I beat 1 on Proud Mode, and that has a special place in my heart now, because that game was fucking hell to get through on Proud Mode. But yeah, so that's my little disclaimer that Kingdom Hearts would be here had we done a top 6. Number 5 for me is actually going to have to be the Yakuza series as a whole.
Yakuza?
Fucking
That's
weed.
interesting.
I love Yakuza. It's I've only played Type I was gonna say Type 0. That's a Final Fantasy game.
Dude, you would have gotten fucking flamed. People would be like, what are you talking about? Type 0.
And if you're talking about Final Fantasy, that's not even one of the good ones, because anything under 10 is fucking trash. Fuck that. Anything under 7 is trash. If you play anything past 7, you're not a real fan. 15, Noctis, more like trash. Yeah, that's
Cloud's the best.
I played Yakuza 0, which was my first game in the Yakuza series. I didn't play it as a kid. Didn't play it anytime. I think I had 4 on PS3. I still do, and I started it. And as a kid, I did not have the patience. I was like, oh my god, there's all this talking. It's like non-stop talking, and if you skip it, you have no idea what's going on. But I feel like Yakuza combines what makes JRPGs awesome, which is like the story and the character. The character development is so good in Yakuza. And then you combine that with the beat-em-up combat, which helps like get the game going and never feels like you're stuck in one place for too long. Plus, in Yakuza 0 and Kiwami, they have all these mini games, like the fucking pool that I cheated to get billions of dollars, and there's just like so much. You like run like a gentleman's club. You can sell real estate. play. You can gamble all your fucking money away. So like the Yakuza series as a whole, I just like that it's everything that's good about JRPGs and everything that's good about beat 'em ups, and they just like shoved it together and made a really dope series with a really good story. I'm also going to include in there the Fist of the North Star game because that's basically the same thing, even though it's not in the same series. That game is awesome. If you haven't played Fist of the North Star, it's just Yakuza and a Fist of the North Star skin. It's a good game.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, I think the main points for me are that the gameplay is fun. The mini games are super fleshed out, and they give you something to do just to waste time. I can't tell you how many hours I spent looking at a fucking claw machine like I was actually going to get a prize from it. I really like Kiryu as a main character, and I really like Majima, and I have Kiwami too, and I'm going to start beating that pretty soon, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yakuza's my number 5. Love that game. Yeah, it deserves to be there.
Nice.
Steven, number 4. Favorite games of all time, and why?
Let me get back to my notes. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, we totally didn't write notes or anything. This is all off the dome.
Of course I wrote fucking notes.
I scripted this in my brain.
God of War 4. As in the newest one. It made me cry about a really buff Immortal.
I feel like
that's gonna be my reasoning on each game. It made me cry over a cowboy. It made me cry over a god. It made me cry over.
Number 1's gonna be Monopoly on PS4 because it made him cry when his family destroyed him. It made me cry when you fucking got Boardwalk.
No. I mean, I played every God of War game except the handhelds. So all the mainline games. And they have been very near and dear to my heart. My stepdad and I completed them side by side. I would play, one day, then he'd play another day, and we'd talk and see, how far we got, what we were doing, and everything. What upgrades we used, that kind of stuff. And it was a really good, fun experience with him. So when that came out, I was like, of course I'm gonna buy it. What? Norse Kratos axe? Yes. What? It was a no-brainer. I mean, obviously. And the game looks like those 4K porn videos you see on Pornhub. The whole time. Just the whole time.
It did.
It just looks like that. You can see the pores in Kratos' skin. I mean,
was amazing. I'm salty that I waited. Not that I thought it was gonna be bad. I guess I just like
apprehensive a little bit.
It's like I knew it was gonna be good, but I was like, God of War, whatever. Like I knew it was gonna be good, so I didn't feel like the need to rush out and get it. I would just play it when I played it.
Then you got it, and like, oh god.
Yeah, I was like, where have you been?
It's just been waiting for you. Waiting for you
I didn't know
to.
anything about God of War anymore. I was like, who's this Kratos?
Keratos? What? Keratos?
Yeah, I really enjoyed what I put into God of War. I beat that game like as soon as I got it, like for Christmas. I just like beat it straight.
Yeah,
I remember when it came out that you'd have your son Atreus with you the whole fucking time, and people were like, "No, they just ruined the fucking game. Not my God of War." Shit like that. And it turns out Atreus is like even more useful than Ellie in The Last of Us.
Yeah, he was fucking. What I liked was that his development felt really good.
Oh, he got better as you went. I mean, like
it's like at first as Bo's barely doing anything, and by the end of the game, he's like chunky.
Spoiler alert. The game's old by now, so play it. But don't listen to this if you haven't. Like the final fight with Baldur. When they jump off of Thamur the Giant, and Kratos like grabs Baldur midair, turns him to the sky, where Atreus has jumped after them, and Atreus shoots like 3 or 4 arrows into Baldur's chest as they're falling.
That was fucking awesome.
That was, and then they go into the the one quick time sequence of the game, and it's a combination attack with your son that is probably the coolest fucking like double team attack on one person I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was cool. I like that their relationship like molded. At first, you can tell that they almost don't trust each other. Like they don't have any trust between them. And then they start to like they build it, and then it shatters when Atreus starts acting like an asshole. And then when he realizes that he as a god he has more responsibility for the people and the small people as he called them.
Did you ever notice he didn't know he did that. He didn't know he killed Modi, I think it was. When he saw that vision in Helheim, he said, "That wasn't me. I didn't do that. What are you talking about?" Mm-hmm. He had no recollection of it whatsoever, and they just glossed over that.
Yeah. Their relationship, like how it went along. Joel, was it Joel? Or Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was also a really good game.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that game. That was like the combat was good. The axe felt weighted. The voice acting there was nothing wrong. The voice, more importantly than the voice acting, was the voice direction was good.
You know why the axe felt so good? There's two reasons. First of all, the satisfaction of pressing triangle to just bring it right back to your hand at any time, no matter how far it is. And the second thing is, if you watch when you swing it, when the axe hits a hitbox, it stops. It lags there. Kratos keeps moving a little bit, right? So the head of the axe sticks where it hits the hitbox, but the hilt and everything moves as Kratos, pulls, and then Kratos pulls it out.
That's crazy.
That and it's kind of like frame stops. You see those a lot in like Monster Hunter World. Mm-hmm. To make things more satisfying, you get that frame stop on that really big hit, and it feels awesome. And that's just a variation on the frame stop.
I think that the combat was so good, and the voice direction I think the voice direction, you could have subpar voice actors but have good direction and you wouldn't even
Christopher Judge.
Yeah.
They had so many people are like, "Oh, bring back fuck. I forgot the dude's name at this point." But bring I think he goes by like CJ. And they're like, "Oh, bring him back. If he's not doing Kratos, I don't want to play the game." Blah blah blah. And then we get to the game, and everybody realizes, "Oh, this is a much older, much more Kratos." Mm-hmm. So going with a much older, much more mature voice, still similar, still very similar.
Oh yeah.
Just obviously aged, obviously matured over time.
Yeah,
it just makes it so much better and so much more impactful,
Yeah, I actually just realized, speaking of voice acting, I actually lied to Alex, one of our friends that streams. Go check him out, link in the description. Alex was asking me about Kingdom Hearts voice cast, and I was like, oh yeah, it's all the same. I was like, I'm pretty sure they got Tom Hanks and all these people. Dude, they totally didn't. These were I looked it up later. Most of the Disney, I think actually almost all of them are voice impersonators. Those people are just that good that they sounded like Woody and Buzz, and they just got them in. And I think the newer movies, I'm pretty sure Frozen, those were the real people. I know Olaf was played by the guy that played Olaf.
Mm-hmm.
And Tangled, I think, was all the same people. But I know Toy Story, yeah, that wasn't Tom Hanks. And I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Monsters Inc. was not the guys.
You're talking about Danny DeVito?
No. That was Hercules. He definitely wasn't in the game because they must not even be able to find somebody for him because he didn't speak the entire game. He was only on the scenes for a little bit, so I'm just assuming they didn't get Danny DeVito. But yeah, because if you think about it, what Alex was saying about it would have been right. I mean, a budget that big for a video game would have been insane. For Tom Hanks, bro, that would have been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it really would have been.
But yeah, God of War, I really enjoyed the combat. I really enjoyed the story. The pacing felt good. It felt like it was a slow burn at first, and as you build up, you start getting more and more closer to the climax. It starts feeling better and better and better until you get to the end, and it felt like
that game really hit me. I'd say 2 or 3 different times. The game just hit me, and I was like, dude, this is the fucking game.
Yeah.
I would say the first time was that in the very beginning of the game, Kratos steps through the doorway and he's completely in shadow, and it plays his theme, that 3-note motif.
Mm-hmm.
And that I was like, oh shit, okay, we know how Atreus feels about his dad.
Yeah.
Then it was the blades. Spoiler alert! Sorry, blades are in the game. It was the blades. That moment was just emotional. The whole ride there, the whole thing with Atreus, the fact that in that fight with the guy on the bridge, that's the only time Kratos kills something that wasn't trying to kill him in the entire game. And then of course the end. The end, I cried. I didn't ugly cry. It was just like single tear. And then I won't spoil the very end. I'll at least do that. Then you get the big reveal at the end, and I was like, oh my fucking god, they didn't just do that.
Yeah, God of War was that's a good pick for that for number. If that's at your number, what was that 4? If that's your number 4, I'm really interested to see your top 3.
I will tell you. I think let me double check, but they're all series.
Okay, that's fine.
My top 3.
Almost all of mine are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
All right, go ahead, Jalen. Number 4, Jabus, sweet baby Jabus, little Jubus game of all time.
That's racist.
You know what? Since we've been playing it a lot, I gotta put Smite at number 4.
Whoa!
Well, that is an interesting pick.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I gotta put there because we like us as a collective group have put in so many hours, and then
we had to put in
we've
at
gotten
least
better
a
at
few
this
thousand.
game over time, and then that's how like we all really connected. So that's why this is gonna be like at my number 4. I like this
That's
game.
a great reason,
love
actually. I love that reasoning.
I have such a love-hate with Smite. I love Smite because it's so fun, but I hate Smite because it makes me want to jump out of a window.
I think you love Smite. You don't like high res.
I'm even okay with the unbalanced. I'm fine because I realize that's probably really hard to keep stuff balanced in those kind of games. It's just, it's not even high res. It's just the community. Like, people are such dicks.
Yeah,
and it's like,
but that's any MOBA. At least we're not playing League.
especially the ones that are not good at the game.
Yeah, those are the worst people because those are the people that give you the most shit. It's like people that are good at the game don't feel the need to spam VGS chat. But people that are bad at the game spam VGS if they don't get to play. Like, you see it constantly when you go into a lobby and everybody like picks a role and then everybody locks into what they're going to play. If somebody doesn't want to play Guardian or something, they just leave.
Dude, I almost never get to play my role. Not my role, but I almost never get to play what I want.
I don't either. I just got used to playing whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like eventually you just get used to it, and you're just like, fuck it.
Once you find somebody that's good in every category, you're just like, fuck it. Like, I don't care. I'll play whatever.
I just enjoy the game as a whole now.
That is a good reason, though. It did bring us all like a lot closer. And that's how we learned how to play MOBAs. We had no idea what the fuck we were doing.
Speaking of MOBAs, we got to play HOTS, guys. We got to. I think we really should like try and get into it. And I know we've tried once, but I think we should really like try and get into it a little bit more.
Yeah,
I like League of Legends. That was to me.
Yeah, I think I could get into League, but it would take some time.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to force myself into it, but I think I could.
Is that your number 4 then, Jalen? Smite because of the power of friendship. Did you just get all Kingdom Heartsy on us?
Yo, my friends are my power.
Disgusting.
I have the power of God and anime on my side.
I would say my number 4 is Pokemon as a series.
Sick.
I play every single Pokemon
Didn't see that coming.
that comes out, except for the newest ones because I don't have a Switch yet. I love Pokemon.
Fire.
I beat almost all of them. I have a note here to mention that episode 3 is going to be the Gotta Catch 'Em All episode. So if you guys like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Digimon or fucking Bakugan,
Digimon sucks.
any of those things, make sure you watch episode 3. That'll come out in about 2 weeks. Episode 3 is going to be our favorite episodes of any of those mentioned shows, our favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards, our favorite Pokemon, our favorite Bakugan. Nobody knows what the fuck that is.
I did not like Buck. Beyblades was where it's at.
Beyblades got me weak because they really had to sell it like in real life. Like they were like in their show, it's like, dude, a fucking dragon came out of my fucking spinning. My dreidel just had a dragon come out of it, and then it's like when they're selling them to you in the store, there's not going to be a fucking dragon that flies out of it like the spirit of a dragon. So they're like, it's kind of fun if you play with your friends and you can bet money. It's like they had kids like bet $100 if you beat your friends.
Well, and then they had like the little caps that you'd put on them, you know, like, oh, mine is a fucking Dragon Monster 9000. Oh, well, what's yours? Mine is a Dog Monster 9000.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
had to like convince you. It's like, well, why would you spend $30 on the Dragon Monster 9000 instead of $10 on the dog? And it's like, well, the dragon's weighted better so that the fucking velocity will allow me to knock your top out of the ring. And then like, yeah, I never really got into Beyblades, but I always thought the show was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, episode 3 will be Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, any of that kind of stuff. We'll be talking about our favorite episodes, favorite video games in those series, favorite cards, Pokemon, monsters, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, Pokemon is my number 4. I've played every single one of the handheld versions of that game and was very good at competitive battling for a while and then hung up my gloves and stop.
No, you didn't stop throwing cheeks because anytime we get on Showdown, you just, you know, decide, hey, I want to disrespect these guys real quick, and then
I always start off with like I'm like, I don't know if this team's gonna be good because
unless you get them.
I don't pick Pokemon based on stats. I usually pick them based on looks. So I'll like here's my team if I don't know if they're going to be good. And then like Steven or Miles or Jalen will beat me. And then
you just throw out a fucking Toxapex. And I'm like, what do I do?
Here's my official team.
It's got a Togepi, a Toxapex, a fucking
it's got
like all just like
shit in it.
UU picks, and you still kick our ass.
I appreciate that, but I really enjoy Pokemon. My favorite games in the series, in case anybody wants to know, was Ruby and Sapphire. I grew up with Generation 3, so those would always be my favorite. My least favorite was Black and White because I didn't... Honestly, it's going to probably piss some of you kids out there that really like Black and White. The ice cream did it for me. I was like, no, not my Pokemon, and I still played it, and I still beat it because I like Crocodile and I like Darmanitan, but I'm not ever going to have that shitty ice cream on my team.
Don't be mean to the ice cream.
Reshiram is my favorite legendary.
My favorite legendary is fucking Suicune. As a kid, I was like,
you're so generic.
I was like, water.
So generic. Who doesn't like Suicune though? I mean, come on.
My least favorite legendary is all the other ones.
I'd have to say Raikou is my least favorite legendary.
Yeah, I think my least favorite is probably like Deoxys, because it's just like
really. I loved the whole thing with Deoxys being a fucking alien and shit like that. The whole Rayquaza, Deoxys, Kyogre, and fucking Groudon line. I thought that was sick as fuck.
They really sold Emerald to like kids of that era. They really sold it to us with it's a fucking dragon.
Yeah, they're like, dude, get Rayquaza and Deoxys. We're like, dude, I saw those guys in the fucking movie. I'm gonna get that.
And meanwhile, like back then, I was trash at Pokemon, so I was like, how do I catch a Poochyena?
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to use Pokeballs because I skipped. Like I was just like the kid that used to tap A all the time and just like not read anything.
I recently played back through with my Speed Boost Blaziken because, you know, Speed Boost Blaziken is the best. And it was probably the easiest thing I've ever played.
Yeah.
At least remakes were definitely they suffer from that whole, you know, making games a lot easier than they should be.
Mm-hmm. So out of the whole series, Dillon, what would be your favorite one?
Probably Ruby and Sapphire, that generation.
Okay, but which one specifically?
I started with Sapphire, so probably Sapphire.
Ugh.
But I was really bad at Sapphire when I played it the first time because I didn't even
Team Aqua scum.
I didn't even beat the Elite Four until I was an adult because like on an emulator because
Steve
as I was
kicked
playing,
your ass. Steve threw those dragons at you and you're like, oh god, no.
Well, that and I only leveled up Blaziken and Kyogre, so all my other Pokemon sucked. So if they went down, I remember I was on the Steven fight and Blaziken was out of like PP, like you couldn't use it anymore.
By the way, being a kid and like a big character, like the main guy of the Elite Four having the same name as me was the sickest thing in the world to me. I was like, dude, yes, this guy's named Steven. I'm named Steven. I'm one of the best Pokemon trainers in the world. Let's go.
But yeah, I just remember like my Blaziken would run out of like moves. Like I'd run out of PP, so I couldn't use any more moves. And then I would throw out Kyogre, and the same thing would happen to him. And they were like both level 80. And then I would get fucking thrown, and I'd be like, "Go level 35, Makuhita." And then it would just get like obliterated, or Hariyama. It would just get like obliterated, and I'd be like, "Well, I caught that back on Victory Road, so I didn't level him up." But yeah, that Sapphire is probably my favorite.
Are you guys looking at these spicy memes I'm sending you?
I'm not.
Oh man, look at the last one.
Did you just send it to the Discord?
Yeah, it's in the D&D chat.
I would say my second favorite was probably, I don't know. I guess like the first generation wasn't too bad.
I loved X and Y.
Actually, that's not true.
X and Y was great.
I changed my mind. My favorite Pokemon game was actually Heart Gold because I loved how long that game was. I loved that game so much. And Sapphire is my second because Heart Gold and Soul Silver were amazing.
I've never played a single Gen 2 game.
They're so good.
I'll say Leaf. That was like the first Pokemon game I played. Was Leaf Green.
Leaf Green, yeah. That sounds about right. Because, Dillon, you're... Jalen, I'm kind of like right in between you and Jalen, aren't I? Or
Jalen,
something like that.
Yes, you're a year younger than me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, then you would have started... You started with 3?
Yeah, I did, and so did he. Or no, you. Well, yeah, I consider Leaf Green as 3.
Yeah, that was Generation 3 because it was Generation 1 and 2, but it was released around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is my number 4, Pokemans as a series. Okay, so we've officially been recording for an hour of the first episode of the Never Ending Backlogs podcast. I really appreciate everyone coming out and showing love, taking time out of your busy day. I've always wanted to have a podcast with my friends and just talk about video games and music and whatever the fuck we're interested in. It really means a lot, anybody that's listening to this right now. So, with that being said, I'd like to premiere a song that's been sitting on my computer just raring to go, but I was too lazy to post it. I'm going to premiere Psyche, which is me and my friend Sean, or as most of you may know him by his rap name, Douglas NU. This is the world premiere, the first time anybody's ever heard this song. Go ahead and leave your feedback in the comments. I love it. This is for you guys. So we'll be back after this little break, and I really hope you enjoyed the music. Thank you. We will be right back. There we go. That wasn't bad.
No, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, I'm going to go get some water and stretch my ass cheeks.
Psyche bad, I got bags, I was right, man. I've been low, take a hold, my heart is cold. Lose my mind, my soul in binds, love makes me blind. Feeling down, I fuck around to know my inner son. I'm quick to jump shit, but I'm not really good at love shit. Fuck it, I think I love you. Yeah, I really think I love you. You got me stumped, heartbeat again like your heart had my jumped. You say it's love, I never loved anyone who say love. This shit is quick and then breaks need it pumped. You more than sex, more than a lay. You fix my head, made me okay. You not the bitches who made me this way, but they be the reasons I'm running away. You be my net, I be your rock. You be my text, I'll be your talk. You got my weight, take me away. Never felt safe, but you can relate. We face to face, my inner calm, my inner peace. I piece about piece, saying my demons suppressing my beast, but I feel much better with you around me. Psyche bad, I got bags, I was right, man. I've been low, take a hold, my heart is cold. Lose my mind, my soul in binds, love makes me blind. Feeling down, I fuck around to know my inner son. Quick to jump shit, but I'm not really good at love shit. Fuck it, I think I love you. Yeah, I really think I love you.
Shit, I was a kid, I made a pissed off choice. Yeah, I took a pig, ended up with lost joy. Well, I can admit you was a fit decoy. Hey, but common sense told me that's how you see the boy. Take your time, I need a way. I plead 5 on any day. My eyes have spoken anyway. I'm likely hopeless in the days. I leave all my energy inside my psyche till I make my mind that I need sympathy. I feel away, I've been away, guy. Been broken, why I can't open. Try to float and vibe by your ocean wave. Lonely times, mine are golden. Cause high or low, my mind likes the motion, yeah. So I do it with devotion, yeah. Can't listen to what's spoken, yeah. I guess it's time to focus, maybe on my own-ish, cause I've been living soulless, yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the second part of the Never Ending Backlogs podcast, episode 1, top 5 games or game series of all time in our opinion. Thank you for rejoining us after our brief intermission. I burped. Oh no. Twice.
I know. Take 2? No.
Yeah. Jeez. Anyway, thank you for listening to that song, and if you left a comment, I really appreciate it. Make sure you look down in the description for links to any of the artists that are featured today. We have one more song that will be played at the end. We'll get there when we get there. So, now we were on number 3, I believe. I'm going with Steven.
Yes, on me.
Okay.
I'm gonna be quick and short on this one because I have actually already touched on it earlier in the episode. 3 for me is Halo.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been playing them my entire life. Ever since I could really hold a controller, I've been playing it with my family. Because I'm a young whippersnapper and was born in '98. So
he just dated himself. Everybody, he's 67. Ladies.
But yeah, I love Halo and I love the universe. If you guys are looking for great Halo lore, Eckhart's Ladder on YouTube. Boom.
Another.
Don't link it. Don't link it.
Don't link it.
There's no need. No need. I just plugged him. I don't even know the guy. I just watch his channel.
Message him, email him, and tell him he knows us all of.
Plugged you in your podcast. Yeah, it was all your ad revenue. We're gonna claim your videos if you don't.
All right, is that all you? So Halo was really.
Yeah. That's all I'm gonna add to 3.
Jalen, go ahead. You don't have to go fast, Jalen. He just went fast because he'd already talked about it.
I'm gonna have to say the Naruto Storm games.
Oh God.
Bad memories.
No, amazing memories and terrible memories all at the same time.
With one kunai.
I would say the whole series as a whole, because I've played every single one of them. Me and my cousins would have like tournaments and stuff at each other's house, and we take that game very seriously. Yeah, that's how we got so good. And,
oh man, that's Smash for me.
And Naruto happens to be like top 3 anime for me, I guess.
Yeah, I think those games are definitely some of the best fighting games if you like want something really high octane that doesn't it's like easy to learn but super hard to master.
Okay, I was gonna say, what are you talking about? Easy, dude. I got my ass handed to me constantly on that game. The only time I kind of win would be when I would use what you guys would call OP characters. I didn't know it was OP. I didn't know it was bad. I didn't know it was good. So I just fucking used the guys I liked. Then I felt bad because you guys were like, it's just OP.
Dude, I can't even talk about OP because I used Shisui a lot before I knew how to play that game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Shisui's disgusting.
I really like Storm, but that's a good pick. That makes sense because Jalen loves Naruto. Yeah, if you guys want to know,
that's another thing that brought us all closer too.
Yes, it did. If you guys want to know,
more farther apart at some points.
Me and Jalen is like super good at every fighting game on the planet, pretty much. So
except Smash.
Go ahead and challenge him. Anybody in the comments, just challenge Jalen and he'll play you.
PSN hidden win. No.
Yeah. Just leave your PSN down there and say you want to challenge Jalen, and we'll set it up. But he's super good at all those games. Naruto is one of his best, and he was teaching us how to play, and none of us had ever beaten him at the time. And I beat him with a kunai, and he instantly screamed out that he wanted a rematch. And I didn't give him one. I went to sleep. I ended the night on a high note.
Oh man,
that was some tragic stuff.
Dillon?
Okay, my number 3 game of all time is Final Fantasy X.
Ugh,
and I'm looking
Titus.
at my notes, and I love.
You want to put that as the series as a whole?
Nah, because I haven't beaten a lot of them. Here's I
Oh.
was gonna say the series as a whole. I love Final Fantasy, but I've only actually beaten 10, almost 12, 15, the main story of 14, which is an MMO, so it doesn't really count. 7.
Well, it's still a pretty good story.
And that's it. I haven't even beaten half of them. I've played like 25 hours of 13, and that was horrible. But I'm working on 6 right now. I have 4 on my Vita. I have 3 on my Vita, 5 on my Vita, and 7 on my PS4. But I've already beaten 7, so I haven't beaten the majority of them, so I felt like I couldn't say the whole series. But Final Fantasy X is my favorite of those games. But I'm looking at my notes right now, and I put I love the story of Titus and Tuna. My first ever Final Fantasy. I just remember Final Fantasy X as a kid. I saw like all the commercials and stuff, and I remember that Christmas I told my grandparents I really wanted Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy XII, and I got both of them, and I was horrible at them. And then as an adult, ended up beating them, and then trading my PS4 in, so I don't have proof that I beat them. But yeah, Final Fantasy X. I love Titus and Yuna. I love that whole. I even love the laughing scene. I think that's the greatest scene in all video games of all time. I really like the story. I really like all the characters. I didn't even know who most of them were. I only knew them because of Kingdom Hearts, like Auron I knew, and Titus and Waka. That was it. I just remember seeing Auron, and I was like, hey, that guy looks pretty sweet. And then I played Final Fantasy X, and I was like, hey, that guy looks pretty sweet. But yeah, Final Fantasy X is my favorite Final Fantasy. As of right now. 4, I've played the beginning of, and the story is insane. And I'm playing 6 right now, so that might change. But as of right now, it's 10. Okay, that's all I had to say about Final Fantasy X.
Nice. That's I've never played it personally, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Oh, it's.
I love that game.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, is it my turn?
It is. It's now time for Steven's number 2 game of all time.
It's game series.
Okay.
It's gonna be this was really hard to decide between my number 1 and my number 2. So just know that these next 2 for me are so close, it's almost indiscernible. My number 2, it has to be the Legend of Zelda series.
Ooh.
Get ready for the dislikes.
Breath of the Wild, an amazing game, a masterpiece. Don't listen to what people tell you. That game's a fucking piece of art.
That game.
Ocarina of Time. Anybody born anywhere near the 90s or the 2000s played that fucking game.
Love that game.
And then I just recently, like last year, played Wind Waker. I was apprehensive about it. I saw the cartoony graphics. I was like, oh man, I don't really know. It looks kind of weird. And I played it, and it's amazing. Twilight Princess, great game. Handheld games, fucking Link to the Past. I need to play Link Between Worlds. I've played OG and number 2.
Play Phantom Hourglass.
No, fuck the DS games. Sorry.
No, those ones are good.
But no, I mean it's just a great game series as a whole, honestly, and it always has. It's always gonna have a special place in my heart.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
But that's my number 2. So.
Oh, we're on number 2s now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Jalen, your number 2 game of all time.
Number 2. I'm going to have to put Final Fantasy right there. The series as a whole.
Okay.
I played 15. I beat 15. I beat 13. 13 Lightning Returns. I almost beat the first 13. Beaten 10. I didn't get as far as you been told, but I almost beat 7. I played 2. Didn't get to play 4, but all the stories and all those games are really good.
Yeah.
And then I remember 13 was my first Final Fantasy, unfortunately.
I hate that game so much.
Even though people hate that game, I like that game because it was my first one and I enjoyed it. Yeah, and especially 14.
14 was amazing.
I put so many hours into that one, even though it isn't MMO. It still had a good story like the rest of them. Pretty much, yeah. That's it.
I love Final Fantasy so much. I feel like if I beat more of the games, it'd probably be higher. That's why I'm working on 6. My number 2 is Persona 5.
Ooh, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I already know his number 1.
Here come the dislikes. Persona 5. Oh.
It is. I have a reason. It's so close to being number 1, but I have a reason why it's not.
I know what his number 1 is already.
Persona 5. This it's like the only one of the few games that I just sat down and beat straight. Like, I mean, I didn't play the 120 hours straight, but I mean, like, every day that week I came home from school or work and I played that game and loved every minute of it. I would beat it again. I'm going to eventually. You play 120 hours, you just gotta take a break. I love that game. There is nothing wrong with that game. The characters are amazing. The development is amazing. The fake pseudo dating sim is amazing. The combat is amazing.
Best part, in my opinion.
The day-to-day activities are good. Like I said, the turn-based combat was really well thought out, and I liked like the rock paper scissors kind of nature of it. I thought the voice acting was flawless. The soundtrack was amazing.
Okay, I was gonna say you better touch on that fucking soundtrack because I listened to that shit in my car.
The voice direction is amazing. I just really enjoy that game. I like that they tackled.
Wait. English or Japanese?
I only played it in English so far, but I do want to go ahead and play it in Japanese.
Woo. Their English voice actors are top notch, honestly.
Which isn't always the case. So I
No.
really enjoyed it. I didn't play it as a whole because I haven't played any of them except for 5. I've started 4 on my Vita, but I have not played a lot of it. And when I finish it, I'm going to release a review for that game. But yeah, Persona 5 is the best game of this generation to me. Go ahead and hit the dislikes. I don't care. I love that game so much. It is.
I don't know what your number 1 is, and it's got me a little worried.
I already know what it is.
I don't know what Jalen's is, and I don't think you guys know what mine is.
No, I don't. Yeah, that's all I had to say though. Persona 5 is flawless. If you guys haven't played it, please go pick it up. It is if you like Final Fantasy or anything JRPG-ish, you will love that game. It's
intimidating.
It is.
It
is
intimidating, and I bought it and didn't play it for a year. And then finally, my girlfriend and she was like, "Oh, I really love the way that game looks. You know, I love the characters and the music and everything. We should play it together." And I was like, "All right, we'll give it a go." And we start playing it, and I fell in love with it faster than she did. I mean, shit, the game just sucks you in.
It does. I love Persona 5 so much. But yeah, that's my number 2. So if I gave it that much praise, number 1's going to be good.
All right,
Steven, go ahead and lay your number 1 on us.
All right. This, of course, is my favorite game series of all time. I cannot think of a game in this series that I have not played, and that I haven't played and enjoyed. I played all the games in the series. It's Metroid.
I knew it. I knew it.
The first Metroid game I ever played was Metroid Prime on the GameCube. Okay, sick ass game, beautiful game, still holds up today. Don't at me.
Don't at me. I'm chilling.
I've played 2. I've played 3 in the Prime series. Both amazing games, even with the motion controls. Amazing games. And then you get the fucking handhelds. Okay, I didn't even know these existed until a few years ago. I thought Metroid Prime was it. Okay? Then we get to the fucking handhelds, and I played Super Metroid. Dude. I busted a proverbial alien nut.
I'm finna nut.
I mean, So if people don't know about Metroid, because it's popular, but it's not more. I've seen it described more as a cult classic. It's always been loosely based off Alien, the first Alien movie, right? And Super Metroid specifically gets you this feeling of just complete isolation, but you're not scared. You're isolated, and it's dangerous, but you're not scared because you've got everything that you should be able to defend yourself. It never throws anything at you that's too difficult. You can do things in whatever order you like. By the way, do that in a normal game today, and I've loved even the original Metroid and all of its flaws. I even love that game. So
I knew it was gonna be Metroid once. I thought about it for a second, and I was like, "Wait a minute, he loves Metroid."
And Prime 4, dude. Yes, I know it got completely restarted in development, and I want to cry, but at the same time, I'm really happy because they gave it to Retro Studios, who made the original Prime games, Prime 1, 2, and 3. So good news and bad news.
Okay.
Have either of you guys ever played a Metroid game?
I have played the one on Game Boy Advance.
Fusion.
Fusion. I played Fusion.
I played the first one, and
Metroid
then
Fusion is great.
I played the one on the Wii. There was Other M or something like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a Metroid. No. I actually completely forgot about the game. I've never played it, so I did lie. I haven't played all the games. I missed one. And Other
Isn't
M,
that the worst one?
You got to look at it for what it is, honestly, because it's not a Metroidvania Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what like a Metroidvania is, right? It doesn't play like that. It's a on rails third person shooter, which is fine. From what I've heard, the story that it tells is pertinent and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not what people were wanting. People were wanting basically Prime 4 when that came out. So yeah.
Steven has said it. Metroid is the best series of all time.
Don't at me.
Actually,
at me all you fucking want.
You like Zelda? Metroid.
Dude, hot bitch in a spacesuit. Come on.
All right, Jalen, your number one game of all time.
Kingdom Hearts as a series.
All right, I could have seen that coming.
Yes. Yeah. I have played every single Kingdom Hearts game. I haven't beat Chain of Memories because that one sucks. I'm not gonna lie, that one. But I still love every single other Kingdom Hearts. Dillon was the one that got me into that game, and then from there, I just played every single one. I played all the DS ones. 358, believe it or not, it's like my favorite Kingdom. Roxas is my favorite character in that whole game. Almost made me cry on that one when I was a little youngin'.
Yeah,
but
that's a solid pick. Kingdom Hearts is pretty fantastic. How do you feel about 3 being the end of that saga?
The Xehanort saga, I mean, I needed it because the story's starting to get a little out of hand. But I'm excited what they're going to do with the next story because they're going to, I think, from what it looks like, they're going to start using the characters from the mobile game because that's a real good story. Unchained. So I'm excited for what he's going to do, especially with the secret ending at the end of 3. Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty geeked to see what's next because I thought it was a good tie-up to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my number one video game of all time, and this was really close, is the Football Manager series as a whole.
I knew it. I knew it.
I have put hundreds. I've only played 3 of these games. I've played 17, 18, and 19. And in 5 years of Smite, I think we've probably put in close to 600 hours, I think Jalen said. I have.
I've put in 600 hours personally.
No, we put in a few thousand, Dillon, because I know I personally put in at least 300.
Yeah.
And I've got the least out of everybody.
Altogether, we have at least over 1,000 hours.
Okay, so I think I probably have like 5. I'd say like 550. I have double that in Football Manager in 3 years.
You are a broken person.
The first
sad man.
in 17, I have 369 hours. In 18, I have 390 something, and then in I'm sure by the end of me playing 19, I'll have like 400 or 500 because I play this one like a lot more than I played the other ones. I love Football Manager. I love the realism. I love the fact that you're not in control of the game. So it's like you can't just go from the bottom league in England straight to the top of England in 4 seasons. Or 7 seasons. You have to you get up in the league and you have to fight relegation. You have to focus on finances. I love like the realism.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Go ahead.
I think it's hilarious how we just went from, huge, big, dramatic games, Red Dead, God of War, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy. And now we're talking about Football Manager.
Dude,
a completely different genre, a completely different everything.
Simulation game, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what Football Manager is, it's basically you run a soccer team, like you're the head coach, and it's like it's 10 times more realistic than FIFA. It doesn't have the same graphics as FIFA, but it's more realistic with what goes on. You do press conferences, sign players get pissed at you for no reason. Like, it's just all of the things that happen in soccer happen in Football Manager. I love it. Soccer is the biggest sport in my household. It's the best time I've ever had playing a video game. I make spreadsheets that are disgustingly long, and I wouldn't want to tell anybody how long I spend on them. When I'm at school and I have like free time in class, I'm like writing down rosters and where I want to change people out. I spend hours of my day thinking about Football Manager. It's nothing like FIFA and
that is very interesting.
They're like battles of overalls, I feel like, where Football Manager you can have like a real upset because it's the ability of the coach, it's the ability of the tactic, it's how the players are feeling. If the players are gelling well, you can actually upset teams. Or if I just go through and sim a lot of games on FIFA, it's just a battle of, well, Barcelona's got a 90 in attack and you have a 70 in defense, you're not going to win.
If we don't stop him, he'll go on forever, by the way.
Yeah, so Football Manager is my favorite series of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't touch on Football Manager. I've never played it, so
I'll gift it to all of you.
I'm okay.
Good. I do not like simulation
you
games.
give me something better.
Except for this.
I'll rephrase that. I would much rather you give me something else. I won't say something better because it's not a bad game. It's just not my game. Good. Hey, Geraldo is $15 right now.
Mm-hmm. That is a very interesting number one choice, but I knew it was coming. That's all you talk.
I love that game, man. It's something I'll probably play for the rest of my life. I'll have Football Manager 2045, I'm sure. So yeah, this has been the first ever episode of the Never Ending Backlogs podcast. I really hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you to Steven and Jalen for being on this episode. I'm sure they'll be on many to come. Hope you guys
no problem.
He said come.
I hope you guys are down to be on a lot more episodes.
Of course.
We'll see how it goes. And we're going to go out with a outro track today provided by Mackie. This is her song on her newest album. The song is called Toxic Love. And I think it's called Toxic Lovers, actually. She's going to kill me for getting that wrong. Her song Toxic Lovers. I hope you guys really enjoy this song. That's all I got for today. Please come back next week. Probably these are gonna most likely I'm shooting for Friday uploads every Friday. So check back next Friday for episode 2. We didn't cover everything we wanted to cover in this episode. I kind of overloaded because I didn't know how long it was gonna take. So look forward to episode 2. Hope to see you guys back here next time. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Take 15. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.
Adios.
But when you're mad, that's when, you just want to be back good because you want to be back good because you want to run back to your dad. That's really how you feel when you're mad. Then go for it. You don't have any love when you're mad because when you're not mad, you don't think like that. You just want to sit here and try situation and you lift yourself up by giving me negativity. No, so when I tell you that that's not what I want to do, instead of you sitting here, tell the truth, I am telling the truth. I'm just going to be speaking, saying anything, you don't even believe anything that I say in person.
So that's
What?
the case, you really get zero fucks about it. And you would think that, okay, if you love me and I love you and we're trying to make things work.
No. What you need to do is you need to, if whatever it is with him is one thing, but then
Fuck me up, fuck me over, but don't say goodbye. Fuck me up, fuck me over, just don't leave my side. You just need a body, I just need somebody. We should get together, I'll give you whatever. If you just give me all my mind, if you just give me all your time. Fuck me up, fuck me over, but don't say goodbye. Fuck me up, fuck me over, just don't leave my side. Fuck me up, fuck me over, but don't say goodbye. Fuck me up, fuck me over, just don't leave my side.